fold, first fold, like normal fold when you want to make your dress. Now, video precious. I want to appreciate. I want to video the underbust. Now this is her shoulder to her underbust. Her underbust is 13. Alright, so you'll be adding extra 3.5 inches to get the half length. Alright, so this is 3.5 inches to 13 inches is going to be 16.5, which is here. Alright, so now I'm going to be working with 16.5. The lady's measurement I'm using is her underbust is 13 plus 3.5, making it 16.5. So I've placed my tape. So this is much. I'm going to reduce it. Actually, let's leave it dry. So now this is our start point and this is our ending. I'm going to trim up this base, the bottom of this fabric, because of this white stuff that is here. Now the next thing to do is to start the shoulder measurements. Her shoulder is 16. When I divide it, I'll be having 8 inches. I'll mark my 8 there. Come down by 1 inch here for the shoulder slope or slants. Then this is the neck. I'll mark 3 inches. This is the neck. Then I'm going to slant this to this. Alright? Now, from this point, I'm going to place my tape back to this my 1 inch I came down to. Mark my 8 inches again, the shoulder measurements. This is to enable us to get to the armhole. So now, I'm going to divide these 8 inches, the armhole 8 inches by 2. I have 4 inches. So this is 4 inches. Now, this is my center. I've placed my tape horizontal now. I'm going to come in by 0.75 inches from my 8 inches. This is from here now. I came in by 0.75 inches. Then I'm going to curve it. So this one is going to slant to this point. Then this one is going to curve to this point. Alright. Now the next thing is the bust measurements. Her bust measurement is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give us 9 inches. So this is my 9 inches here. I'll add 2 inches normal sewing allowance. This is my 2 inches normal sewing allowance. I'll come to her waist measurements. Her waist is 8.25, 8.3. Let's use 8.5. I'll add another 2 inches for my sewing allowance. Alright, now I'm going to connect the waist to the bust. Now the next thing now is the process that's proper. So what is your bust span measurement? What I mean by bust span measurement is nipple to nipple. The bust that, the nipple to nipple. So the person, you from someone of 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, you make use of 4 inches. But for someone of 40, bust of 40 and above to 45, you make use of 4.5. And when you have something of 50, you make use of 5 inches for the nipple to nipple. Alright. So now I'm going to mark the 4 inches here. From the center point, I'm marking my 4 inches. I'm going to mark it from up to the down. This is my 4 inches, alright, which is the dart. Now the next thing to do is to mark where your underbust falls in. So her underbust is 13. I marked 13 here. This is where my underbust 13 is. Alright, so from this 13 I'm going to come up by 3 inches to get the nipple points. So I'm coming up by 3 inches here. So this is 3 inches now. Now I'm going to connect these 3 inches. This is my 3 inches here. Then coming to this underbust. Okay, before then, let me rule these lines across so it will not be confusing. This is her chest points, chest line. This is the nipple points at 10. This is her underbust All right, so from this under bust now, mark 2 inches out this way. You mark 2 inches the same way you mark 2 inches here towards the waist, bottom of the waist, this way. Now this is your armhole measurements. This is your armhole measurements. Connect it to your nipple point that is here. So I'm connecting this, make a line. This is to my nipple point that is here. Then I'll connect it back to these 2 inches I marked out away from the 4 inches. So I'm going to make a curve now. This is my princess dart. All right, now we have removed 2 inches from this point. You kindly put back these 2 inches here, because if you don't put it, there will be no allowance for your dress. After cutting, everything will come back to normal. Yes, you added your 2 inches seam allowance initially. You will still add extra 2 inches to it. So I'm going to add extra 2 inches. You connect it to this point. Then I will cut out. Remember, the reason for adding this extra 2 inches because of these 2 inches you added them. So now I'm going to cut. Do you have any question? So now for the front neck, it has 2 necks. The first one is 3.5. Then the second one is going to be 3 inches. Or I can still make it up to 3.5. That means I'm using 7.5 in total. So I'm going to cut out this one. This is going to be a C. Then I'm going to make a slit here. That will be why I'm sewing it. Now we'll now cut out the princess darts. So this is what your princess dart will look like when you are done. You now join it up. Then you put your wadding, your bra wadding, your breast pad or your cup to it. Alright. So is it. So this is me joining the breast pad. Okay, the next thing to do now is to join the breast pad. Please, while I'm joining your breast pad, make sure you start from the down of the dress, like the bottom of the half length. From this point, I'm going to sew it. All right, so that's what I'm going to do now. So when you get to this curved surface, what you need to do is you adjust your machine a little, then continue running. So after making it, this is what it looks like. This is one part of it. I also do the same thing to this other piece using this one. The breast padding I used is normal breast pad. You can find it in the market. You can also decide to use stay, pad your fabric, attach your light breast padding, but this is a little bit thick. That's the one I worked with. All right, so now I'm going to join this just the same way I did for the other one. Okay, as usual, I'm going to join this. This is the other side of it. So I'm going to run a stitch on it to the down. Remember, start from the bottom while stitching on a breast pad. So after cutting it, after stitching on it, sorry, this is what you have. This is what your breast pad will look like. All right, so no need of stop stitching it here, unless maybe the style says so, but I prefer leaving my breast pad this way than running another stitch on it. For me, somehow it looks tattered. Okay, now so we are done with this upper part. This is the down part. All right, I'm now going to join it. I'm not going to join this to this. I'm going to join it to the down part, then shape my dress, attach my sleeve.